What's going on? My name is Ashton. This is Angela. We are the founders of Active Solutions AI, where we are trying to make enterprise solutions attainable for small businesses. And we were able to scale our business from 0 to $1 million in less than 12 months. In this video, we want to go over exactly what it takes to actually close deals from paid ads, because it's changed a lot in the last 5 to 6 years. I don't know if you want to start by going over what people probably expect.
Yeah. Let's pave the perfect picture, the heaven for everyone, right? So on a majority of our sales calls, you have a lot of prospects that sit in front of you that assume that paid acquisition is the easiest route to scale your business. Now, I think it used to be a lot easier 5 years ago, maybe even 2 years ago. But there has definitely been just way more of a trust recession nowadays. And that's because paid acquisition, or let's talk about Facebook ads in particular. Facebook ads have been around since 2014, 2013, 2014. Yeah. And then not a lot of businesses kind of caught on with the hype. And so now it's a much more saturated field, and it's also involving a lot more sophisticated buyers. So when you have those two things compound, it's obviously going to make it much harder for you to convert them, because they've seen the ads. They understand what they're getting into. As soon as they opt into something, they have to fill out a form. They're most likely going to have to book some sort of call, and they're going to get a crap load of text messages, emails, and phone calls sent to them. So a lot of prospects that sit in front of us will say, well, it's so easy because all I'm going to have to do is set up some ads, which I'm hiring you guys to do. And the leads will come in, they'll show up to their calls, and then they'll buy. And obviously that is not the case. So today, I'm hoping that we can kind of be a little bit more transparent about the expectation when it comes to paid acquisition, because it has become significantly harder. And I would like to shed some insight on the sales process and kind of what it takes to do that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the days of running paid ads, having someone show up to a call and then one call closing them every single time is, I don't want to say over, but it almost seems like it's over.
It's pretty over.
So one of the concepts that I've created specifically, and I've given a couple presentations on this, is the acquisition funnel. So there are multiple stages to get someone to go from a lead to an actual closed deal. First stage would be, actually generating the lead. The second one would be getting that lead to book an appointment, right? So the booking rate, and then getting that person who booked the appointment to show up to the call, and then getting that person to actually close. And each stage of the funnel relies on the previous stage to actually exist. So for example, if you don't have any leads, there's no one to book appointments. And if no one's booking appointments, then no one's going to show up. And if nobody shows up to their calls, then there's nobody to actually close. So there are a bunch of SOPs that you need to have instilled in your process to actually make this work. So lead is generated. If we want to get them to book, we need a very user-friendly booking process. Even a child should be able to go through your funnel to your website, to your landing page, to your booking page, and know what the call to action is to get to the next step. Way too many people, I think, have these confusing processes, or they have like an automatic redirect to this page that has a bunch of testimonials, and their booking and their calendar is at the bottom of the page, or the calendar isn't there at all. And instead they just get a text message of someone who sends them a link. There's way too much going on. You need to have the next step clear and concise, a big button, have the calendar be the first thing on the page. If the people don't know what step to take next, especially in today's age, when I think people's attention spans are becoming shorter and shorter, they're not going to spend 30 seconds on your landing page trying to figure out what the next step is. Just make it clear. And if people want to scroll down below the calendar or below the call to action to see the rest of your testimonials and what else you have to offer, they will. But most people don't care who you are. And if they don't know what to do next, they're going to go right back to their social media platform. They're going to start scrolling through all the reels again.
Yeah.
So I think, do you have anything to touch on
I think
specifically?
Whenever I say sophisticated audience, I don't mean sophisticated in the way that they think or their thinking processes. Sophisticated meaning that they're used to seeing this and they basically know what to expect. So the approach that you need to have is to think of it as if you are trying to run advertisement to a little toddler or to a child, right? So like you're not some special unicorn. So if you have this amazing, outstanding edited video or picture of yourself talking about what it is because you're trying to qualify that lead or whatever the case is. The end of the day, we need them to book a call onto your calendar. We need something super actionable. So when people say, oh, well, I've got these testimonials and I'm going to tell them what my followers look like. Great. That may help you. But at the end of the day, that's not going to make them book a call. It's not going to incentivize them to book a call. So when you have the calendar up front and ready to go, they know exactly what action they need to take to be able to consume whatever it is that you are trying to actually sell them on. So I think that's basically what I mean by sophisticated audience. But, a lot of them don't actually know what they're doing because guess what? You're not the only ad that they've opted into that way that day. So I think that's also something for us to, shed some light on is like, you're not the only person or you're not the only company that they're looking at. So it's like, what's going to make you better than the rest? You actually got them to commit to booking a call.
That's actually a huge point as well. So the average person now has already opted into probably 3 ads by the time that they have booked a call with you or whatever it may be. And it's really who has the best process wins. So if there's another business that they're looking for and that person called them faster or had a better conversation, built more rapport, or had a process that was more optimized to actually get them to the closing call, that person's going to win and you're left in the dust. So at this point in time, people are still interested. People need your service. These services aren't dying. It's just that they're saturated with people that are running ads, and people are more likely to have already signed up for other people's stuff. And now you have to come out on top and be better than the competitors to actually close that deal.
Right. And we're very confident in our ability to convert because we understand the approach. So that kind of leads to the next step of the funnel. So once the lead is generated, once they've actually booked a call, now we can't guarantee that they're going to show. So what steps are you going to take to ensure that they're actually going to show? So it's not just an appointment reminder, reminding them of the appointment. It's an engagement, right? So we prompt a reply on the confirmation. So it's not something like, please confirm with C. That also doesn't work. So we actually have a follow-up text messages that go out a second or 2 after the initial confirmation saying, is this still the best number to reach you? So you need a much more genuine approach when you're running paid acquisition because of the sophisticated audience that we keep talking about. Is they understand what to expect, but what's going to make you different than your competitors? It's your approach. So after all of the text messages and the cadences, we actually do have our setters go and make outbound dials to build rapport because it is so much harder to break a relationship than it is a transaction. And guess what? Most of your competitors are probably just going to have very superficial confirmation appointment reminders or whatever the case that's automated just to remind them of that. But if you call them and build that rapport, they're more likely going to show up to your call over your competitors. And so that also goes for sales calls. I mean, we have a 2-step process where we actually have kind of like an introduction or triage call that's 10 to 15 minutes long. We build the rapport there. We've trained our setters to understand that call is the most important call to pave the way for the rest of the sales process and cycle.
That's actually a really good point to stay on. So the setter call or the intro call, discovery call, whatever you want to call it, the call that happens before the closing call, it doesn't matter how big your business is, what type of reputation you have, we never advise having just a 1-call process anymore. You need to have some type of conversation to build a certain level of rapport. And that first person that has that conversation, a setter role is really no longer entry level role. Yep. These people need to be trained on having the right types of conversation to build a level of rapport that you know for a fact that your competitors will not be able to build before they come to that second call.